Hey, welcome to Planet Hex. I'm Andrew Horton. This is a show where I talk about a lot of retro stuff, namely lots of VHS tapes. I did it again. Hey, welcome to Planet Hex. I'm Andrew Horton. This is a show where I talk about a lot of retro stuff, VHS tapes, cult movies, music, games, the writing life, comic books, and a bunch of other stuff that takes my fancy. On this episode, I'm going to talk about looking for VHS horror and VHS culture, even on Amazon. I've not done that. Before. I've done eBay, done Facebook Marketplace, done the Internet Archive, and done various shops in the wild, but I've not done Amazon, and I'm going to see what's going on there. Now, I do have a lot of love for Amazon, as you can get my book on there. VHS Ate My Brain. The revised edition is out now. It's linked to you below this video. Please do go and check that out. On this video, I'm going to check out some of the things that have become available over the years since I started collecting VHS and really delving into the history of it and the entire collecting scene all over the world. And I'm just going to take a look at some of the stuff that's popped up since then, the documentaries and merch and stuff like that. What I was originally going to do was talk about tapes themselves on Amazon, and I know they are out there, but you can't just really search for like X-Rental VHS on there. You can't really just say VHS horror movies, because you'll get a load of stuff that's related, but you won't really get the tapes themselves unless you put in the actual title. Speaking of tapes, I did pick one up on my last video. The TerraVision issue has not been resolved yet, so do look out for updates regarding that. But I did get Shadow Zone, which I have a lot of love for. I love this movie, great full moon movie, and it's really good condition. It was only $5.99, and I'm really pleased with this. It's in superb condition, the tape's in great shape, and it's still got a rental sticker on it, so I'm very happy indeed with that. So that's a welcome addition to the shelf. So let's go and check out what I've found, some of the things I've found over on Amazon relating to VHS culture. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest, as I got this book a while ago, VHS, Absurd, Odd and Ridiculous Relics from the Videotape Era. Now this is 3 years before I did, 3 years before I put out VHS Ate My Brain, and I was thinking, oh great, it's going to be like a real treasure chest of curios. No, it's a book which makes fun of people. It was a bit disappointing, to be honest, that one, so recommended for completists if you really want to get a hold of it, but it wasn't ideal from a fan's point of view. However, stuff like this that's popped up in the years since I did VHS Ate My Brain, I'm not saying VHS Ate My Brain was an influence, but it would be nice to think that, but I'm not assuming that. But VHS collecting, the modern relevance of home video. This is a great looking book. I love the cover art on that. It's really nice to see other people doing this and other people getting stuff out there, because it can only help to strengthen the scene and the appreciation of these things. It's nice to know it wasn't just me that appreciated them. That's one of the things that I was worried about when I was originally writing VHS Ate My Brain, was that no one would care, no one would relate to it. Everyone would just be about DVDs and Blu-rays and now streaming. But yeah, I was really pleased to find out a lot of people had done this. This rules. VHS video cover art, 1980s to early 1990s. It's a big hardback. It's like 30 quid, but it is so worth it. This is a great one to have on the shelf, if you can get it on a shelf. That's one thing about this book. It's not particularly easy to get on a shelf because it's so wide, but it is a really good one. Totally love that even exists. I mean, look at the stuff on the cover there. We've got the Sisterhood, Black Roses, Return of the Living Dead. What else have we got there? Mayhem. Let's move over here. Annihilator. Don't remember that one. Dead Man Walking. I remember that. The dude's holding Neon Maniac, so you know he's got taste. Wild Thing, Death Code Ninja. Dead End. Is that Dead End Driving? And Video Dead, and Ghost Chasing the Corner, but yeah, Video Dead's on there, so that has got to be a good book. Do check that one out, but make sure you've got really deep shelves. So, and something I've noticed is that there has been something of a boom over the last few years of VHS aesthetic stuff. So there's this series here, of which this is one of them, Babysitter Bloodbath. What's the series called? puppet combo, which has been made to look like a cross between sort of a VHS tape and a Fear Street novel, like something that R.L. Stine would do. And I think that's really cool that the aesthetic is back there. I would check that out. Similarly here with this one, Killer VHS Series Book 1, you've got Melonhead Mayhem, which is clearly a play on Pumpkinhead, especially with the artwork and even the font of Mayhem there. Cousins Carson and Sophia are in town for their grandma's funeral and are unknowingly about to live out the nightmare that is every horror fan's dream. That sounds pretty good. You've also had things like My Best Friend's Exorcism by, is it Cody Gradix? Why am I thinking that? Is it Grady Codex? Or some person? That I really should have looked up beforehand. That was actually made into a movie, and I enjoyed the movie. That was good fun. It was a nice little nod to that whole era. You got VHS Lives, a schlockumentary. That's from 2018, 2 hours 24. I've not seen this one. My favourite VHS related documentaries are Adjust Your Tracking and the Video Nasties Definitive Collection. So Adjust Your Tracking is a brilliant documentary. That is definitely available on Amazon. I've got my copy somewhere, and that one really captures all the VHS collectors in all their glory. However, the Video Nasties Definitive Collection one, that is 13.5 hours long, because it also includes all the like trailers and stuff like that for all of the DPP's Video Nasty list. VHS Nasty is on a similar line, so that one talks about a lot of the Video Nasties in that era, and again, that's a really good documentary. I did do a review of that ages ago. Another one, Direct to Video, a thrilling look at an awesome time in the VHS era when straight-to-video horror films flooded the shelves. There's a bunch of cool stuff in there. Again, I've not seen this one. That is going to go on my watch list. This next one, I've got Movie Hoarders, VHS to DVD and beyond. So it's people who have gathered massive libraries of movies. Look at that. That's awesome. Well worth checking out. That one is a good one. VHS Love, Cult Cinema Obsession is another documentary. We've also got VHS Forever, Psychotronic People. That's the same year I put out VHS Ain't My Brain. There's a lot going on. Like I say, there's a lot going on with the VHS aesthetic on things, and also some movies that have been given a new VHS release, such as Turbo Kid. If you're not familiar with Turbo Kid, it was like a sort of retro-centric, more recent movie, but was put out like a classic rental. And here you can actually get it with in a 5-disc set with Blu-ray and DVD, and bonus DVD, and a soundtrack Doppel-C DVD. In what appears to be like a VHS box, and I'm all for that. I love the whole look of it, and the whole aesthetic is just really cool. So, in some of my travels around Amazon looking for VHS stuff for this video to talk about, I did find some original related stuff, and this just boggles my mind. We've got a Scotch VHS-C cassette adapter to play VHS-C camcorder tapes in any VHS or VCR. So this was an adapter that would allow you to play miniature camcorder tapes in your regular video player. Now, that is really, really cool. So it meant you could watch stuff without connecting the camcorder to the TV. You didn't have to transfer anything to a regular tape or anything like that. You could just pop this in. But yeah, I was quite shocked at the price of this. This is listed at £176.20, and that's crazy to me. It's just not that it's like a bad price for it, or what, someone wouldn't pay that. I just think it's amazing that something that was cast aside years ago is having this resurgence in value. I do find that really, really interesting. So I do love my VHS horror movies, and one of the scariest things I've ever seen come out on VHS was the Coronation Street feature-length special. This tape was the bane of my life, and of course I'm looking for VHS tapes on here to talk about, see if I could find something cool, and what comes up? This bloody thing. This was in every single charity shop when charity shops still carried tapes. You'd have this Coronation Street feature-length special, you'd have the Emmerdale Farm one, you'd have Friends videos, and old fishing videos and things like that, or racing videos. And very rarely would you get anything cool, any sci-fi or horror, action movies, martial arts films, and this thing wound me up. Because, you know, you go in a place, oh, I can see videos, I'll go over there, I'll go and check out the tapes. What do I find? Coronation Street. Ah! Bane of my absolute life when I was collecting tapes in the wild. That is something I do not miss about looking for tapes in the wild, is finding these feature-length special editions of soap operas. No! Just no! Please. Just die, go away, die in a fire. Horrible tapes, horrible tapes. So let's get that off the screen there. The next thing I saw, I did find something cool here on tape. It was the Channel 5 edition of the Trapdoor video. If you don't remember Trapdoor, you may not. I don't know if it made it overseas. Trapdoor was like a plasticine animated cartoon, but while it was aimed at kids, it's still funny now. Some of the creations in there, some of the creatures, the monsters are absolutely insane, and it's still really entertaining to watch. That it really is a nostalgic thing for me. It's not something I would pick up. Mainly I want big box size X-rental horror movies at the moment. The aim is to replace the mass market ones here. I want everything to be X-rentals. I'm getting there. I will get there eventually. But yeah, it was nice to see Trapdoor pop up. That was definitely a palate cleanser after Coronation Street popped up. There's also a documentary here that I've found called VHS. Not entirely sure what this one is about, but it's nice to see these things around. So we've got a bizarre retro comedy shot on VHS from 2019. That's cool. I may give that one a look. We've also got Winners Tape All, the Henderson Brothers story about some brothers that made zero-budget movies in their garden. This came up, which I thought was really cool. So this has got the VHS aesthetic, but it's not like a knockoff retro thing. This covers Sleepaway Camp. I don't know if it's just the first one, if it's all three. I think it may be the first one. Sleepaway Camp is a classic of the slasher genre, and really well worth your time, especially just so you can bask in the glorious silliness of the ending. I won't say what, but if you know, you know. The sequels were all right, but the original one was great fun. If you like your Friday the 13th, in particular, it does riff on Friday the 13th quite a lot. The sequels are great for just having the 80s aesthetic and really sucking that up, drinking that in. That whole aesthetic still really appeals to me, and those are a great deal of fun, those movies. But the first one, genuinely good movie. I wonder what's coming up in the related ones. My favourite horror movie, 48 essays by horror creators on the films that shaped them. My favourite horror movie 2, film theory. Anything else coming up that's VHS related? Let's have a look in these. Not really. Stuff that's got that sort of aesthetic. I'm just going to put, let's put VHS book and see how many come up that I didn't write. I only wrote one of them so far. But there are more coming. There is a sequel to VHS Ate My Brain coming, and a spin-off. Maybe more than one spin-off. Keep your eyes peeled for details on those. So we've seen VHS collected in there. VHS cover art. We've got VHS, the Video Nasties, a book on the VHS Nasties era. Of course, you're going to find on Amazon, you're going to find lots of these notebooks that are done up to look like a tape. I've even been bought a few of those as gifts, and that's always cool. This one's pretty good. VHS Ate My Brain revised edition. I'm sure that one would be well worth reading. It was a pleasure to do that. It was a pleasure to revisit these things and go over them again. Laundromat, VHS Trash Book 6. So there's lots of these series that have got like sort of VHS inspired covers. We've got a micro VHS themed RPG there. I'm going to have a look at that one. That sounds entertaining. Lots of Back to the Future themed things, of course. Wherever you look with retro stuff now, you are pretty much guaranteed to find some Back to the Future stuff in there. Formatted screenwriting book in a VHS cover. I want to see what that looks like inside. That sounds crazy. More books and things that have got that aesthetic. the Canon Film Guide. Man, Canon was crazy. What a fantastic studio. What an insane, unpredictable studio that was. Absolutely superb to check out there. Let's go have a look at these other ones I brought up. So, Into Terror, the Deluxe Core Rulebook, Micro Chapbook RPG. I like the sound of this. Of course, I love the cover, because that's cool. Is that... Yeah, it's an Amazon published one. Micro RPG. That sounds interesting. How long is that? 93 pages. I'm going to check that out. I think I will check that out, or at least go on my wish list anyway. So this format screenwriting book, I hope no one's been writing during the writer's strike. I haven't, but I know that there are some rumblings that once that's all sorted out, I may have some progress being made on some feature films, so that would be great. This does not have a look at the formatting it's using inside, so that's not great. Why don't you have any pictures of what's actually inside it? That would be helpful. Jot down all your notes, plans and more in formatted screenwriting book. Offers all the tools needed to flesh out 2 short film projects with 200 pages of script writing space. That's a nice idea, but I'd need to see inside that. I would need to see inside that personally. But there's so much available on here. Now, if you have a specific film you're looking for on VHS, you would need to look for the specific title itself. I wonder if I put in Pumpkinhead Blood Wings. Oh, I need to... VHS would help, Andrew. Yeah, so that's an American edition, so it's currently unavailable, but that is available on there. So you would need to put in the title of what you're actually after in order to find it on there. But that's cool to know. It's cool to know that these things are still out there and you can get them on Amazon. One drawback with Amazon, I feel, is that you wouldn't be able to see the tapes themselves. You wouldn't be able to check them out like you can on eBay, where you can see various photos and whatnot. It's just because of how it works differently, and it's not as thorough in the amount of photos you can show. I mean, you can add photos on Amazon, but you may not be able to add them to the same quantity as over on eBay, and put the same amount of detail in there, because if anyone else is selling a copy, then they would have to put different details in again for that as well. Let's try one more. Let's do Return of the Living Dead 3 on VHS. One of my favorites. See, there we go. Available on VHS there, and Blu-ray and DVD. Different editions of it. It's good to know. It's good to know. But I do recommend. It would be lovely if you did check out VHS Ate My Brain Revised Edition. It's something that has meant a lot to me over the years, and it's really brought home that people do still like this stuff and are still interested in these things all over the world. And it was that's still driving me on to do more. So yes, VHS Ate My Brain 2 is underway. It won't be called VHS Ate My Brain 2. It will have a different title. And there are some spin-off things being planned, being put together behind the scenes that I will talk about more as we go on. So, thank you very much for joining me for this little look around Amazon. It's a very different place to what you would find on eBay or indeed Facebook Marketplace in terms of VHS, because it is such an old format now, and it is kind of niche. It's still very niche even now, even after all the documentaries and the books have been written about it. But I am heartened by the fact that these things are out there and keeping the flame alive for this great dead format. I'm Andrew Horn, and this is Planet Hex. I've got a cold thanks to my son. Cheers, mate. And if you like this sort of thing, please do like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. I'm always talking about tapes and cult movies and weird stuff. Sometimes I will move over to the writing life or being a musician, or just all kinds of stuff that interests me. I'm not a big channel, so I'm still at a point where I can do what I like on it, and I'm very grateful for that. So I'm really grateful to everyone that does watch these and does join me on this journey. So thank you very much for watching this episode of Planet Hex. I'll see you again soon for the next one.